Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my Tips and Tricks to Become Sub 40 series. This time we look at how to get rid of extra and wasteful moves. Let's get started. Before we get started, we need to go over two important things real quick. First, getting rid of wasteful moves does include learning more algorithms, but there is much more to it. Second, the goal is the least amount of time, not the least amount of moves, which means that if you can do fewer moves to solve an F2L pair, but it takes you longer to execute those moves, the efficiency isn't worth it. That's why CFOP is the fastest speed solving method, not Petrus, and why Felix doesn't know every one-look last layer case. It's because it's actually faster to just do regular OLL and PLL sometimes. Now we can get to the actual tips. The only OLL algorithms you really need to know to be sub 40 are soon and anti-soon. And the only PLLs you need to know are both A perms, both U perms, the T perm, and the Y perm. That will at least give you 2-look PLL, and if you still want your last layer to be faster, you can learn the other 5 OLLs with the cross solve, or learn more PLLs like the J, R, H, Z, and F perms. Now it's time to talk about efficiency in your F2L, starting with the cross. Being efficient with the cross is really important. You should almost always be able to do the cross in 8 moves or less. Being efficient with the cross is all about setting up one edge for insertion while inserting the other. Just for example, in this case, something I could do is just to solve these 3 edges right here, ignoring this red one for right now, is I could move down this layer to move the green one into position and the blue one closer, move up the orange layer, insert, which brings the blue into position, insert that, insert green, and then I can just insert red. And that's a really quick and efficient cross. And that lets me go straight into F2L. Here are some more examples of how to be efficient with the cross. When you have two adjacent cross edges that are both misoriented in this position and this position, they can be inserted one of 2 ways. If this piece needs to go on this side, then you'd bring up the cross edge, bring it down, and then put this one on. But if this edge needs to go over here, then you'd insert this edge first, and then put down the green edge. Whenever you have 2 opposite cross edges lined up like this, even if they're not lined up with the centers, you can just drop them down. Or if you want to get fancy, you can rotate like this and then do M prime. Then that will line those both up. You can line them up with the centers. And then here is another case. Here you wouldn't do X2 and M2. Here you do L2, R2, or R2, L2. Now on to tricks for the F2L. There is one big trick that a lot of beginners don't know to help you be more efficient with F2L, and that trick is keyhole. Keyhole is when you have an edge or corner directly inserted in for your F2L pair, and you have another empty slot. And it's when you move the solve piece out of the way, moving the empty slot into position, inserting the other piece, and then moving it back. The example for when it's the corner is I would do a D move, which moves this corner out of the way, insert the edge, and do D prime to solve that pair. Keyhole is especially useful for when you need to insert the edge, because the normal edge insertion algorithm is 8 moves and requires either a rotation or F moves. And the algorithm I invented is even longer, but it's 2gen, so I sometimes use this, especially when I can't use keyhole, like when the all the other slots are filled. And my special algorithm goes like this. It goes R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U, and then insert. That's basically all the tricks for F2L. The last few tricks I have for getting rid of extra moves to get sub 40 is for orienting edges to get the cross on the last layer. The first trick is for when you've already finished F2L and you've got two misoriented edges and the oriented ones make this L. What some of you are probably doing is F sexy F prime and then F sexy F prime again. But that is not what you should be doing when you have this case. When you have this case with the L on the top right, and you do F, U, R, U prime, R prime, F prime. You can also do wide F, sexy move, wide F prime. But I usually do this one. These final few tricks are for when you have your last F2L pair connected and some of the edges aren't oriented, and how you can orient them. For this case, if you do this, you'll get a line case. It's actually a good line case, but normally it won't be. What you can do to orient these two edges is you can put this right above where it needs to go, and you can insert this with R prime, F, R, F prime, which is known as the sledgehammer. This can be used in many ways. Here you can see that we have no edges oriented in this last pair. So what if we could orient these two edges and then we could set up the case for sledgehammer? We can. We do U2, move these two edges into position. The other two were when they were oriented after doing the sledgehammer. So you do the sledgehammer here, then do U2, and do another sledgehammer. And that orients all the edges. I have a few more cases to show you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully part 3 of this on turning faster will come out with less of a delay than this one did. It just took me so long to write the script, but this time I'll procrastinate less. So thanks for watching. And a quick note, I keep wearing baseball shirts. These are actually my shirts for Little League. So don't send me complaints about, oh, you rooted for this team, not this one. Thanks for watching.